Vermicompost is worm poop. It's a living amendment, 5 to 11 times richer than the soil around it. It protects plants from diseases and promotes growth. CSU recommends this compost for both indoor and outdoor use. My name is Gail Wilson. I'm a Colorado Master Gardener with Jefferson County, and I'm here today to talk to you a little bit about composting with worms. I'm going to put these guys away. First thing I want to talk to you about a little bit is where they live. They live in this kind of a bin. It is opaque, which means you can't see through it. That's important because these guys don't like any light. First thing you're going to have to do is you're going to have to drill some holes in here. And what you're going to use is a drill. You're going to use a 1/2-inch bit, and we're going to drill about 5 or 6 holes across the top. Make sure it stays across the top. We're also going to use a 1/4-inch bit, and with that, you'll drill across the bottom of the bin. That allows for not only circulation, but for drainage in case you need it. Then we want to create some bedding for our worms. The bedding we're going to use today is newspaper. There, you can use like wrapping paper and stuff, but what you need is you need something that's not shiny. So newspaper is probably the best. You need to moisten this stuff. There's a couple of ways to do that. You can get a bucket, and you can dunk this in the bucket, let it sit for about 10 minutes, and then drain it. Squeeze it really tight. You want no dripping, just saturated paper. I personally would prefer to use a squirt bottle. It's a little bit more tedious, but I have more control. I don't end up with too much moisture. And then we take this bedding, we put it in our worm bed like so. And then once you've got all of that in there, I want you to grab about a handful of soil. Don't need all of this, just a handful. And you just sprinkle that across the top. And now you just have a wonderful home for your worms. The worms you're going to use for your vermicomposting are red wiggler worms. That is pronounced Yersinia foetida. That's the Latin name for these worms. Do not try to use earthworms out of your garden. They don't work in this kind of a situation. You can buy these little guys online, and you would take maybe 1,000 worms, which would be about a pound of them, and 1,000 worms or a pound of worms would be the amount of worms you would need to eat the scrap that 2 people produce in a week's time. Now we're going to help these little guys move into their new digs. What I want you to do is take a handful of your worms, place them on the paper carefully, then take some fresh paper, place that on top, keep them nice and covered, and if you find things are a little bit dry, you might want to do a little bit of spritzing.